Alright, what's going on, y'all? Today I turned $105 into $585. As far as I've seen, the contracts likely went a bit more when price dropped to 607. Today's low on QQQ. I'm just gonna go ahead and break down how I went ahead and caught that play. It was fairly easy. One, my sentiment for the day was bearish due to flow, and then we did get down some. I think we opened up down $3 on QQQ from yesterday's close. So let's go ahead and let's go break it down. So one, I had two entries here. Let's go to that 5 minute, which was pre-market. I'm gonna give you real game. I'm gonna give you guys some real game. I don't even want to give it to you for real, but let me clear my levels here. 7 drawings. Pre-market lows was right here below these clouds, which is the gamma. So first entry could have been here, but I like to at least have 1 to 2 confluences before I enter a play. I do know we have been dropping like crazy, so pre-market lows, they're likely gonna pay. Boom. So I went ahead and signaled in my chat. My entry for puts was the low of this 3 bar, 616.34. And then I did get in about 3 to 4 minutes late because my TOS lagged and my screen was black. I couldn't put in an order. I had to pull up my other phone to get that done. So yeah, entry was right here, and my cons ended up going about 95% in a few minutes. As you can see, we dropped down $3.34 before we had a pullback. Now, typically in this situation, I like to wait until 7 a.m. to go ahead and enter a actual position, because you can bet on pullback. If there's one that you can do, you can bet on pullback. And so by 6:40, we reached the low of the morning drop, and then we had pullback. And people are, of course, oh, I'm gonna get calls, but you have to watch the chart. So what happened was this. Let's go right here. And mind you, again, contracts reached 95% there, and I had a late entry. So let's go here. On the 15-minute time frame, we had a fail direct to the downside right here. If you wanted upside on that short end, you could have went ahead and got in cons at the break of this here, but I didn't do that, of course. I'm still bearish, because all I'm seeing is a pullback before an even deeper drop. That's what I'm reading. $1.40, you would have made probably 50-60%, I'm not sure. But this is where it gets interesting, and here was a second entry for that play where contracts went from $104. Well, they probably went from like $67, $65 down to $585 from here after this pullback. So as you can see, I like to say price retraces back to wicks right here. Boom. There's the high. Price retraced back to wicks. However, price never really reached this exact price. The high of this candle was 618.11. The high of this candle was 618.03. We were short just about 8 cents. Let's go ahead and break it down and what I seen and what I split in my chat, because I was still deeply bearish. A pullback is nothing but a guarantee. So as you can see, 15 minutes strong. We have this candle that should let you know what's going on. But then we go ahead and reverse right back up. We go up, and I'm like, okay. So a position we had was potential. We had potential cons if we go ahead and break above this level, but we never broke above this level. We never even went to the level. We had a failed directional on the 5 minute right here. And so automatically what I seen, go to replay mode so I can really show you what I seen, how I seen it. How do I do replay? Boom. Boom. So right here, what do I see? I see what looks to be a perfect range setting up. So I go ahead and put in my chat, you guys, we're in the formation of a perfect range where we can bet on it and make money. This is easy money, guaranteed money. This is how you win. So I said what's gonna happen is we're gonna go ahead and retrace those wicks, and then once those wicks, once we go ahead and wick down from the level of today's high, we're gonna go ahead and come back down to today's lows. So let's go ahead and show. I'm gonna show you how that happens. So let's go to that 5 minute chart. You see this nice 2 up bar. Let's go to the next one. Boom. We have a failed directional to the upside on the 5 minute chart. The 5 minute, the 15, and the 10 are my that's what I like to see for a reversal. Okay, I like to see a failed directional, whichever way we're going, on the 5, 10, and 15. All right. So boom, boom. That was clear as day. As you can see, Price went up to the wick, but we didn't quite retrace back to it again. We wicked down, fell direction on the 5. So let's go to that 10 minute. Boom. Fell direction on the 10 minute. Okay. I could see entry right around here, and then boom. Let's go to that 15-minute time frame. It fell direction on the 15 minute, which was a way bigger candle, of course, because one, the 5 minute failed first. The 5 minute failed first. But let's even go deeper into it. The 5 led to the 10, which led to the 15, which then led into the 30-minute time frame. We're inside. That 30-minute never went directional. From 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we never went directional. Perfect. So then that right there led to 7:30. Of course, let's go right here back. 7:15, we now have that failed direction on the 15 minute, and boom, entry right there would have paid. But let's go to that 30 minute. Boom, we could have went ahead and got a safer entry because the 5 led to 10, the 10 to the 15, the 15 to the 30. Boom, we went direction to the downside, and we absolutely push. Price went, if you had a solid entry in the 30, $3.07. Contracts were at that point up about 120 to 130%. Let's go to that 45. Well, these are unorthodox time frames you don't really need to see. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Boom, boom. The 7 a.m. first live candle then went directional to the downside. So our 5 led to our 10, which led to our 15, which led to our 30, which led to our first live 60. It was easy money. Easy money. So many entries, easy money. So yeah, and then price pretty much just pushed down all day. Once I see a certain price reached on QQQ, I want to see it touch down to minus $12. I had price strikes around 610.20, and then at 609 we swept even lower than that. I think we went ahead and we covered the gap on the daily time frame, and it's absolutely pushed down in cons, as you can see. Absolutely dropped today. Contracts again touched a high as far as I seen of $585 for my original entry of $104. I took about 50% profits. I left only a few runners to get that, but it was a very solid day for me today. Very easy entry. Again, I just gave you major game on how to find 2 confluences to the downside using pre-market lows, and then betting on that pullback between 6:40 to 7 a.m. 7:15 to go ahead and do a re-entry on that first live 60 to go ahead and guarantee yourself full profits, minimizing your drawdown in your position. Because the last thing we want is to have drawdown making us doubt our position and see minus 40%, 50, 30%, and makes you want to cut it, even though you may have not reached your stop loss. So that's what I like. Even though there may be drawdown, even though I had 2 entries, wait until 7 a.m. to go ahead and get a nice play on board. I explained that form of the potential range we had, where we can go ahead and retest pre-market lows minimum, and we did that, and then we also soared and just went straight past that and absolutely paid. The team got paid, community got paid today. Easy day, easy gains. This far, I've done 4 plays. Monday, 150%. Tuesday, 200%. Yesterday, I think I only went like 120% max. And then today, that big banger, I think it was like about a little over 400%. Contracts again went from $105 to a high of $585 as far as I've seen it, probably touched $6. If you're interested in any of my strategies, drop a comment, leave a comment, follow me on TikTok, Angels Curation, follow me on Instagram, Angels Curation, and drop a link. I'm going to be doing a class. I'm thinking about doing a class and a mentorship. But again, join up, learn some more, and make money the easy way. Peace.